Have you ever wondered how we ended up with so many cold drinks? From sodas to energy drinks, they're everywhere. But where did they come from? You might think it's a modern invention, but the story of cold drinks goes back thousands of years. It has a fascinating journey from ancient survival tool to a multi-billion-dollar industry that has shaped our culture, our health, and even our history. So grab your favorite beverage, maybe just a glass of water for now, and let's dive into the surprising and sometimes controversial history of cold drinks. Let's travel way back in time, long before refrigerators and ice machines. In ancient civilizations like Egypt, Greece, and Rome, staying cool wasn't about comfort. It was about survival. They didn't have fizzy sodas, but they were masters of creating refreshing concoctions. The Egyptians would mix water with honey and herbs, not just for flavor, but for their cooling and medicinal properties. Imagine sipping on a cool herb-infused drink by the Nile to beat the scorching desert heat. The ancient Greeks had their own version, a drink called pasca, which was a mix of water, vinegar, and sometimes herbs. It was a staple for soldiers and the working class, because the vinegar helped purify the water and quench thirst more effectively than water alone. Roman legionaries carried it with them on long marches. These early drinks weren't about fun. They were practical solutions to very real problems, staying hydrated, preventing heat stroke, and making questionable water sources safer to drink. They were the original functional beverages, setting the stage for everything that was to come. For centuries, drinks were either flat or naturally fermented. The idea of adding bubbles to a drink on purpose was completely alien. That all changed in 1767, thanks to an English chemist named Joseph Priestley. Priestley lived next to a brewery, and he became fascinated by the gas that hovered over the fermenting beer vats, what we now know as carbon dioxide. He figured out a way to dissolve this gas into water, creating the world's first artificially carbonated water. He called it fixed air. Initially, Priestley and his contemporaries believed this bubbly water had incredible health benefits. They thought it could cure diseases like scurvy, fevers, and stomach ailments. Doctors began prescribing carbonated water as a medicine. It was sold in pharmacies, not grocery stores. People would go to get their dose of soda water as a health tonic. This was the moment the modern soft drink was born, not as a treat, but as a medical breakthrough. The fizz we love today started its life in a lab, intended to heal, not just to refresh. So why did these drinks become so popular? It wasn't just about the novelty of the bubbles. Two major problems plagued society for centuries: unsafe drinking water and the dangers of heat exhaustion. Before modern water treatment, drinking from a well or river was a gamble. Waterborne diseases like cholera and typhoid were rampant and deadly. Adding things like vinegar, as the Romans did, or carbonating the water, as they discovered later, helped to kill some of the harmful bacteria, making it safer to drink. Soda water was seen as a clean, pure alternative. At the same time, for people working long hours in hot factories or fields, especially during the Industrial Revolution, heat stroke was a constant threat. A cool, refreshing drink could be a lifesaver. It helped lower body temperature and replenish lost fluids. So, these early soft drinks served a dual purpose. They were a safer source of hydration and a way to combat the grueling effects of heat and hard labor. They filled a critical need in society long before they became the sugary indulgence we know today. When you think of cold drinks, two names probably pop into your head almost immediately: Coca-Cola and Pepsi. What's incredible is that both of these global giants started out in a very similar way as medicinal concoctions created by pharmacists. In 1886, a pharmacist in Atlanta named John Pemberton was trying to create a tonic to cure headaches, fatigue, and other common ailments. He mixed up a syrup containing ingredients like cola nuts for caffeine and coca leaf extracts, and combined it with carbonated water. He sold it at his local pharmacy fountain as a brain tonic. That invention, of course, was Coca-Cola. Just a few years later, in North Carolina, another pharmacist named Caleb Bradham developed his own creation. He aimed to make a drink that would aid digestion and boost energy. He called it Brad's Drink, but soon renamed it Pepsi-Cola, after the digestive enzyme pepsin and the cola nut. Both of these world-famous sodas were born not in a boardroom, but behind a pharmacy counter, marketed to the public as health drinks. It's a wild thought, considering how we view them today. The real game changer for cold drinks was the Industrial Revolution. Before this period, making carbonated water was a small-scale, manual process. But new technologies in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, like automated bottling machines and better transportation, made it possible to mass-produce and distribute these drinks like never before. Suddenly, what was once a special treat from the local pharmacy could be a daily product available in stores everywhere. As production scaled up, companies also started experimenting with flavors to appeal to a wider audience. This is when a key ingredient became central to the formula: sugar. Lots of it. Sugar was cheap, it made the drinks taste incredible, and it was addictive. The focus shifted from medicine to taste and refreshment. The fizzy water that started as a health tonic was now being transformed into a sweet, flavorful beverage for the masses. This industrial boom set the stage for cold drinks to become a massive commercial industry, forever changing their role in our society. With mass production came the need for mass marketing. How do you sell all this soda? The beverage giants quickly figured out their key demographic. Young people. They began crafting their advertising to appeal directly to the youth. Commercials and print ads stopped talking about health benefits and started showing vibrant, energetic young people having fun, being social, and living their best lives, all with a cold drink in hand. They associated their brands with everything cool: music, sports, fashion, and rebellion. Think of iconic campaigns from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. They weren't just selling a drink, they were selling a lifestyle, an identity. Coca-Cola taught the world to sing, and Pepsi became the choice of a new generation. This marketing was incredibly effective. Cold drinks became a symbol of youth culture, a staple at parties, movie theaters, and sporting events. This strategic shift in marketing cemented their place, not just in our refrigerators, but in the very fabric of our social lives. So, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the bubbly. There's no denying the pros of many modern cold drinks. On a hot day or after a workout, an ice-cold beverage can be incredibly refreshing and help with rehydration. The sugar and caffeine in many sodas and energy drinks can provide a quick burst of energy and mental focus when you're feeling drained. For athletes, specialized sports drinks can effectively replenish electrolytes lost through sweat. They can be a convenient and enjoyable part of a modern, active lifestyle. However, we can't ignore the cons. The high sugar content in most popular cold drinks is a major contributor to health issues like obesity, type 2 diabetes, and dental cavities. Relying on sugary drinks for energy can lead to a cycle of sugar crashes and cravings. Some ingredients in energy drinks can put a strain on your heart when consumed in excess. It is a classic double-edged sword. The very things that make them feel good in the short term can have negative consequences for our long-term health if we're not mindful. Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. The journey of the cold drink is really a story of transformation. What began as a medicinal tonic, prescribed by doctors and consumed occasionally for specific health reasons, has become a daily habit for millions, if not billions, of people around the world. In the 18th and 19th centuries, carbonated water was a remedy. Today, for many, soda has replaced water as their primary source of hydration. An occasional treat has morphed into a constant companion. We went from using these drinks to solve the problem of unsafe water to creating new health problems with excessive sugar consumption. This shift highlights a massive change in our culture, our diet, and our relationship with what we drink. Understanding this history is crucial because it helps us see how we got here and prompts us to think more critically about the choices we make every day. So, what's the takeaway from this long, fizzy history? It's not about demonizing cold drinks or saying you should never enjoy one again. It's about understanding and balance. Knowing that Coca-Cola started as a headache cure, or that the Romans drank vinegar water for hydration, gives us a whole new perspective. It reminds us that these drinks were created for a purpose that has dramatically changed over time. The key is mindfulness. Are we drinking something for genuine hydration, for a quick energy boost, or just out of habit? Understanding the pros and cons allows us to make informed choices for our own health and well-being. The story of cold drinks is a perfect example of how innovation can be both a blessing and a challenge. So next time you pop open a can, take a second to think about its incredible journey through history. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this trip back in time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the things we see every day.